Jose immediately checked the GPS navigator. After 3 or 4 hours, they were only about 20 to 30 kilometers, 12 to 19 miles from shore. The rain had weakened considerably. They could even make out the faint outline of mountains along the horizon. But another problem quickly appeared. The enormous waves had caused the boat to take on a large amount of water. If it continued like this, the boat would almost certainly sink. To reduce the weight, they stopped the boat and threw every fish they had caught back into the ocean. At that point, staying alive was far more important than saving a day's catch. Then they used buckets to bail out the water. After a tremendous effort, they managed to keep the boat afloat. But unfortunately, the engine completely lost power. Jose repeatedly tried to restart it. Nothing worked. Realizing they couldn't fix it themselves, he reached for the radio and called for help. But the radio had already been flooded and destroyed. Jose couldn't report their exact location. All they could do was drift and hope a rescue team would find them. But during a violent storm, searching for a tiny 23-foot fishing boat was like looking for a needle in the ocean. The two men looked at each other, completely helpless. As if things weren't already bad enough, another torrential downpour began. The coastline disappeared from view once again. They lost all sense of direction in the towering waves. Cordoba completely panicked. He clung tightly to the boat with both hands. He cried, vomited, and prayed for survival. Sometime later, Jose tried using the radio again, but it was completely dead. Even Jose, who had stayed calm until then, finally began to panic. The boat continued drifting wherever the currents carried it. For the next several days, neither man dared to sleep. They were terrified that a wave would throw them overboard while they slept. They couldn't stay warm. They barely had anything to eat. On the 5th day, the ocean finally became calm. By then, they had already eaten every bit of food on the boat. In every direction, there was nothing but endless ocean. They had no idea where they were or which way to go. The only useful items left on board were 2 buckets, a coil of fishing line, a knife, and an ice chest. Everything else had either been thrown overboard or washed away by the storm.